What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of 94 Feet with Coach JT. Before we get started, I got to ask y'all, man, subscribe to the podcast, hit the website, 94FeetWithCoachJT.com. We got the merch. I even got some new merch coming for y'all this week, man. You know what I'm saying? We kind of stay applying pressure all the time. Again, 94FeetWithCoachJT.com. Hit me on all the platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to the show. Leave your comments. I love when y'all interact. I appreciate that. Man, this is a HC week. For us Braves fans, us Braves graduates, but also just in general, man, this is a big week for us just as far as relationships and family, right? So this means this I'm dope to have this person on my show, and I'm gonna get to my brief intro. We're gonna get right to the grind. He's a son of God, man. He's a husband. He's a father. Also, a brother. He's also a fighter of fires, though, right? He's also a 40+ point bucket getter. He says his politics are rooted in caring about people, but it's always about Team Hampton. One of the quotes that I read that he posted, man, there are two reasons why something won't work out in life. You weren't called to it, or you don't give it 100%. This applies to all parts of life, relationships, job performance, weight loss, everything. Live by it. He's a 2004 graduate of the Alcorn State University. He lives in Little Rock, Arkansas, but he's from Batesville, Arkansas. And none other than Ron Hampton, a.k.a. J Work, J Rizzle, Hambone. We nickname people, man. We got nicknames, man. But Ron, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be on here with you, brother.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. I know we tried to tap in a little while ago, but I mean, through just busy work, life, career-wise, man, you handling your business on that career, bro, is a blessing, but also keeps you busy. But definitely, I'm glad we touched it now because timing is everything. You know what I mean? Timing is everything, and I appreciate you, man. Like I said, this means a lot. I know it's always gonna be a good one, man. So, man, we're gonna jump right into this, man. Give me a little bit about Batesville, Arkansas, man. What was that like? Coming from there, man, because everybody got their perception on where people are from, especially down south, dirty south of country, whatever it is from. But give me a little bit about the background growing up out there, man.
Yeah, so Batesville, Arkansas, man, that's my home. I love it to death. I love the people. It's small. The demographics is almost flip-flop opposite from where we went to school, Alcorn, HBCU. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe out of 100, 200 in my graduating class, only 10 of us look like me. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of learned that demographic, and then I went straight to Alcorn, and I'm learning kind of both sides, and neither of them are really that diverse. You know what I'm saying? So I learned kind of both sides, and now where I'm living in Little Rock, it's like a normal blend of all ethnicities and everything. So I had a really good upbringing on how to deal with multiple different ethnicities and everything. So I think that taps into kind of who I am, and every time when you come up, that's gonna shape who you are. And I'm glad to be where I'm from where I'm from.
Yeah, because even in the career path that we're gonna get into a little bit though, that had to play a huge part because you don't know what situation you may or may not be in.
Yeah, for sure.
Of a dime, right? So you can see how important it is early to be well diverse or just well cultured in different things, or kind of have some familiarity in dealing with different things in different places. But given that time, man, what was it like growing up being somebody who was highly active in sports, highly a sports kid, highly like just, you know, and that's for us 80s kids, we was outside, as they say, right? We was always given that area dynamic. What was like the sports teams or some people like you clung to or kind of clinched onto?
Hey, I lived 6 hours away when I was growing up. I was 6 hours away from Alcorn, but my mom went to Alcorn. My pops went to Alcorn. They met in the union. You know what I'm saying? Right there where we kicked it at. So to answer your question, that being said, I looked up to McNair. Like I remember my first real fight was dude was talking crazy about the SWAC and about McNair. And we went at it right there in math class. Like I wasn't having that. So I looked up to I was at all of his home games. My pops was like I was missing my high school games to go see Alcorn play. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't finna watch myself. My parents going, I'm going. So I was on I've been on the yard since I was a little one, man, for real.
What was that environment like, bro? Like, what do you remember back then? You're right. What was that like?
Crazy. Like it was dumb, man. What we had, it was different because we was on some different stuff. We was kicking it. We wasn't seeing the whole picture. Like as a kid going to see that, you got ESPN camera crews, and they got songs about bro on the radio, and the SWAC ain't never really been put in no limelight to that magnitude. So as a kid, I probably was, I don't know, I'm just guessing, maybe 12, 13, 14 years old, something like that. And seeing that, listening to the bands, like I knew immediately I was going to a SWAC school, and it probably was going to be Alcorn, but I knew immediately, like, that atmosphere wasn't nothing like it, like, especially coming from, imagine me coming from Batesville. I mentioned the demographics where I live, and then I'm driving 6 hours, and now I'm seeing a bunch of us, and we rocking. They selling tapes outside for $5. We got the band going crazy, playing Bone Thugs, and it was wild, man. And then McNair was a man amongst boys, like nobody was touching him. He was like Michael Vick and Ben Roethlisberger body, you know what I'm saying? Nobody could tackle him, and it was crazy, man. It was a great atmosphere, a great experience.
Dope, and that left a lasting impression, obviously, right? And that's, I mean, I think I said those. I wish social media, again, we know a different time frame, but they have clips of those out right now. We got to people find them clips of that atmosphere, that yard pack, Mac doing his thing up there, but also going through school. You said some SWAT school could be Alcorn, though. What ended up being the deciding factor for you personally, though, outside of mom and dad? What was, or the reason? What was the factor?
Man, a lot of people don't know this. You probably did, if you remember. I had a grandma stayed in Fayette, so so I was going back and forth to Fayette. My mom is from Fayette. My pops is from Louisville. Okay. So that played a huge role. I ain't gonna lie, but I was going to some SWAC tournaments down in Biloxi and Birmingham as a youngin' too. And I ain't gonna lie, when I was in high school, I used to see them girls from Southern, them light-skinned girls from Southern. And I thought I was going to Baton Rouge. If you ask me, like when I was like 10th grade, 11th grade, I'm like, man, I'm going down to the Southern, bro. Like, what y'all talking about? And Pops told me, he said, you can go to Southern and you can walk, or you can go to Alcorn and you can drive. And I was like,
get this whip.
So that plus my grandma, it was her heavenly birthday yesterday. Man. Happy heavenly birthday, my dear. She stayed right there. So I'm Sundays, like before we went to hoop, like we hooped every Sunday, period. But I was at her crib doing laundry, eating some red beans and rice. So I made the right decision. Like, I got respect for Southern, but they ain't the yard though.
I had to agree with you, man. My grandma was in Natchez again. We just celebrated her heavenly birthday a few days ago too, man. It was just like, it was, especially being in Cali too. My grandma never got the chance to see me play basketball until I got to Alcorn. They made that drive. Her, my grandpa, even as old they was, driving up the hill. I'm like, they making this drive, but it was everything. Go down there on Sunday, on a Friday or Saturday, and eat. I can leave my laundry, but come back. I know it's gonna be folded up.
Nice. Folded up nice.
Creased up. I'm like, oh man, I love it. My mom's like, you spoil. Hey. That's between me and her. That's our little thing. And I say, but I'm glad you brought that up, bro, because I tell all the kids now, I coach and stuff, value your grandparents. You know what I mean? Like, that was special, bro. I love spending time with my grandma. Even, you know what I mean? And grandpa was the complete opposite. He the chill one. She a little more feisty, but she still was her. Bro, we used to watch. I didn't realize she was a Kobe fan. It was late out there because West Coast game that Kobe didn't come on till 7. It's like 9-10. I'm like, what you doing up? She's like, I'm watching Kobe. I'm not a Kobe fan. I like them as a player. I'm a Kings fan. She really is a hoop Kobe fanatic, and she hated Tim Duncan. I'm like, how do you hate the nicest guy on the NBA ever? But you know what I mean? That time, bro, for me too was like, it was special, bro. I'm like, it's always gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? When you mentioned now, I was like, that hit home. I'm like, yeah, grandma, nothing like it, man. Grandma, especially during college.
I'm going out there to the yard early just so I can drive through Fed, drive past the house.
Hey,
and all
no
that.
doubt. I feel you, bro. And I'm blessed that we my grandma's house is paid in Natchez. My cousin still lives there. Made some upgrades. I was like, okay, she would be happy with the house. You staying in it, keeping it up. Like, it's just a blessing to have that landmark. Because that was home, bro. I tell you, that was
important.
Home. Yeah, for sure. Like, that was home, man. That's definitely dope. So you talked about getting to Alcorn, right? You get there. Now, as a young adult, not the little 12-year-old watching the game. Now you got survival of the fittest. What was it like when you first got up that stretch and got to that dorm room? What was your first initial night like on the yard?
Man, I don't really remember my first night. I remember my first day. I got there, my parents dropped me off, and I hope he watches this, man. two people involved in the story. I hope both of them watch.
We gonna send it to him. We gonna send it to him.
We gonna send it to him. We walking around the yard. We done got my stuff in my dorm room and everything. My parents are there with me. So obviously we going around the campus a little bit. You know where we stopped? E. Simmons. We stopped at the old gym because it's a ball bouncing in there. I'm like,
you hear it?
I hear hooping. I go in there. I got, we kept our hoop stuff on, like whatever we walked around in,
ready.
Probably could hoop in. So they playing like maybe 3-on-3 or something real quick. I hop in with them. Drain was out there hooping with us, but I didn't know nobody. I didn't know Drain at the time. For all y'all know, that's my guy. Like me and him clicked tight the whole time I was on the yard. Anyway, I get matched up 3-on-3 with somebody that's kind of like my height at the time. It's Wallace. I don't know who Wallace is at the time. Like Wallace, but those of y'all that don't know, Wallace was like that guy. He probably one of the nicest hoopers came through the yard. He had just got through giving Stanford like major work in the NCAA tournament, probably a couple weeks prior. Anyway, that's who I'm guarding. That's who guarding me in this 3-on-3. And I'm a freshman. Man, Wallace gave me that work.
He was a great
my first day on the yard. He didn't take a slight at all. So now my boy Drain, I got a class with Drain the next day, and I don't know who he is. I just recognize that I hooped with him the day before. And I'm the reason that we lost. Wallace we going to 12. Wallace probably gave me 9 easy. Yeah. And he was clamping me. But anyway, I asked Drain just in pass, you know how we do. We hooping. Hey, you hooping tomorrow? You hooping tonight? What's up, man? I remember yesterday. Drain looked up and was like, with you? And I'm like, yeah, with me. What you talking about, bro? Like, with me. What is you talking about? Yeah. So we played that night, and I played much better because I wasn't matched up with Wallace, obviously. And that's how me and Drain, like, that's one of my closest friends to this day, man. I talk to Drain all the time, and that's how we met. That's the yard for you, man. Like it's so much love, but it's also cutthroat. Like you gotta be on your P's and Q's. Like we holding each other accountable to the highest standards, like your outfit, how you carrying yourself, and if you a hooper, like if you getting buckets, like if you doing what you're supposed to do, like we gonna hold you accountable to that. And that's how me and my boy met. Me and Wallace,
especially in that gym, bro. Especially in that small gym. Don't take it for granted like you just gonna go in a recreational hoop. If you did that, you was watching.
It was some killers in there, bro. It was some killers in there.
You was watching, man. Definitely. What about, you talked about that relationship too, right, man? How does that? I mean, I can tell we value relationships too, even in your profession too. But to start that first one off right, even though you could have went rocky basketball wise, to realize that's how to maneuver. How did you go about navigating relationships with people? Because it was so many different people, even though it was a lot of locals, it was out of towners too, but everybody could be different, bro. How did you kind of manipulate the conversation, different people or meeting people throughout that time?
Man, it was a lot of different personalities out there on that yard, man. You had everything. You had every type of subculture within our culture out there. So, and one thing I still pride myself on is I read energy well. I feel like I read energy pretty well to where I'm not going to associate myself with you if I don't feel like you got the type of energy that I want around me. It's just that plain and simple. And sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes I missed out on some good people just because I kind of kept a little distance. And sometimes I might have let one or two in that a little too close that I might shouldn't have. But for all intents and purposes, like there was some really good people on the yard when we were there. So just interacting with everybody and pulling a little bit from here and there and pouring in where you can. Because there was a lot of days like in passing, like you might have changed my whole attitude one day. I might have been bummed out about class or whatever, or had a bad day hooping or whatever, and you didn't know that, but you just came up to me being your up tempo bubbly self, because I ain't never seen you have a bad day just on the surface, like and you always pouring into people whether you knew it or not. Like your positivity pulled me out of a gutter one day or pulled this other person out. And so you gotta be that for people when you can, and then accept it and appreciate it when people are doing that for you too. But if you keep the right people around you, then you always gonna be pouring into each other. And whoever having a bad day, the crew got you. You know what I'm saying? People around you got you.
I think that's definitely the crew, right? Because I mean, some people move circles, but also you see people who sustain those same people. Them is the same associates who you got 20 years later. You know what I mean? Some people hop around like, no, I'm not hopping around, but you can tell who the ones who's legit. Now you know who I'm with. You know who I'm with. I know Ron. Find Ron. If I find somebody else, oh, Ron may be with them. Jay, oh, you know he gonna be with T. It ain't too many people. You already know where to find. If I know how to find you, I gotta find that one person you with. Oh, you heard from him? Where he at? But that's because we kept it that way consistently. Because one, for us, it was safe. It was smart though too. But also it was like, nah, it's a safe haven. But that was a brotherhood. That was our own little like, hey, this our crew. This my clique.
Yeah, that's it.
I got old pictures, bro. I got pictures still from us in front of the calf hanging out. Everybody with the tall tees on in front of the gym, bro. Like just stuff like that. Just as far as that, because that's what we did. But also it was like, nah, the relationship was valued though early. Like it was a valued relationship early. We was on time together, right? We didn't go home every weekend. We was there on the weekend. If we didn't go to grandma's, we did. But that Saturday, Sunday, where we got in the gym. We got all weekend. We finna get these games in, get them in early before football came on, or get them in early before basketball came on. And we was in the gym, man. Accomplishing in 2004 when you graduate, knowing your mom and pop both went there, bro. What was that like for them to see you make that step too as a son? Like, oh dang, our son did the same thing too. How did that make moms feel and you feel as well?
Man, I was proud for sure. I was proud. I was sad because I was gonna be leaving. My people, everybody's gonna be kind of going back and spreading out, going home and everything. I didn't know how close we would remain because 2004, like we had a little social media, but it's not like it is now. So we had no idea I'd be able to know what my partner had for lunch today because he's gonna be taking a picture of it. Like I didn't know that in 2004.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of sadness too, but I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, they was happy for me. They threw me a little party. They showered me with love. But I can only imagine now that I have kids, how proud I would be. You know what I'm saying? Because I never really talked about it. I was probably trying to go kick it or something, trying to figure out where I'm finna go work. So I wasn't really asking my dad like, how does it feel? And he didn't really pour that into me and tell me. But now that I've got kids, I'm like, I can picture how happy I would be, even if one of my kids enrolled, let alone graduated from my alma mater. That would be crazy, man.
That's what's up, man. I got real part. My mom just sent me a text, bro. We talk about my grandma. My grandpa to this day was that October 2nd, 2000. I think it was. What is this? She did 2010, right? Just like laid him to rest that day. I'm like, man, you just never know, bro. Like me and him share the same middle name. My mom just randomly sent me a text message like, we do it family, like remembering our grandparents, but like, you know what I'm saying? He was a dude that was just hella chill, laid back. I never thought, bro, he don't never get upset. But then it's a picture at the graduation, bro. We just like at my graduation sitting in the stands at Alcorn. No lie. On his obituary thing, we have him at the graduation sitting there. Like riding right now. You know what I mean? Like that stuff like that. That's everything, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's definitely dope. I know mom and then dad was proud of you. Because even though Pops too, even when I used to see him all the time, his energy is what like I don't never see him get too, but he just got the smile. He's smooth. He gonna be laid back. He gonna be chill. But I'm like, he repping Alcorn all day, every day. You can believe that. He never not with no Alcorn gear on. Never not when I see him, especially when it comes to the yard stuff, bro. I was like,
you don't play when it comes to the yard.
You can tell. Hey, let me ask you this: what was one of your biggest highlight concerts you had on the yard? What was one of the biggest ones that stuck out to you? I got mine, but I'm gonna let you go first.
You said concert,
spring concert. What was one of the ones that you remember?
I don't even I don't think a lot of people remember this, but I remember Trina came and I got on stage. Like I literally danced with Trina on stage, bro. Like
now that should have been viral if we had a cat. That would have been viral.
It would have. Because I used to dance a lot, like on the yard. Like I don't dance much. I ain't. When I left the yard, I kind of stopped. But I was like a mini drum major in the club.
Hey, but okay, so now I don't feel so bad. To be from California, we dance, right? I'm like, what is y'all doing? I'm like, bro, I don't believe it. These dudes out here holding the wall down. It's the music slapping. Something ain't right. I'm like, man, whatever. I'm still gonna be me. We from Cali, we go. But I was like, that's crazy. Okay, so mine was though, we had T.I., Franchise Boys, Young Jeezy, and Wayne at the same time. I said it was free in the gym. It was crazy. I'm like, this was one of the best shows ever, and it was all back to back at the same night. I said, bro, I don't have this nowhere else. They don't come to y'all schools like this,
right?
Like, and it's rocking. But the thing is, the hype for it was crazy. Friday night hype. All of a sudden, Saturday, everybody outside. I was like, this is wild, bro. Like, this is a whole
Yeah.
event. The whole weekend is turned out. I'm like, it wasn't no
Yeah.
football game. It was the concert day, but it was so
Yeah.
wild, bro.
Well,
Never forget those times, man. So after leaving Alcorn, man, how soon, bro, did you get into or feel about the firefighting part, man? Because that's just like we talked offline, bro. This is not something that I think some people aspirations as young kids, young adults, they want to be that. I maybe us because we're in that model 80s where we had to like want to be, if it's pro players or doctors, lawyers. But now kids are not aspiring to be firefighters, police officers. What got you into the field or interested in serving others, but also putting your life on the line daily if needed, bro?
Man, I was when I was a real young and I wanted to be a firefighter. My family would tell you I had kind of forgotten. It's nothing that I didn't think about it in school. Matter of fact, I had an opportunity right out of school to go be a police officer. The opportunity was in New Orleans, and at the time it was like the murder capital of the world. And I didn't want to go down there for $30,000 and have to scrap with Master P and them. I ain't really, that wasn't really appealing to me. So public service didn't really. It's not something that just stuck with me all my life, and I just knew I was going down this path. I think I was led to it, like that quote that you said earlier when we was offline, and I had forgotten about that quote about being called to something, and I really think that I was being called to this profession because I am absolutely where I'm supposed to be right now. I couldn't see it anywhere else. And the way that I was led here, like I didn't really, it almost chose me. And basketball led me to it. If you really want to be honest, like from what I was doing, I was a manager of a paint store, and I sold some insurance after that. But one of the groups of guys that I hooped with was the firefighters and the police officers, and the firefighters was always in my ear, like, man, you need to come over here with us. And I'm like, no, I'm good over here where I'm at. I'm chilling. I mean, it's interesting. I'm glad. I'm happy for y'all. You happy in your profession and career and everything, but I'm good where I'm at right now. And things kind of opened up, and they stayed on me. Things kind of opened up to where, dang, that's looking like that's gonna be the move. And I tried, and people take the test and try for multiple years to try to get on. And I did it like on the first crack. And I'm not saying that tooting no horn or patting my own back like I'm good at this or good at that. I'm just saying, like, I think that out of opportunity, it happened the way it was supposed to, when it was supposed to, because it was supposed to. So I'm thankful and blessed for the opportunity that rose, and I took I opened the door when it came, and it's the best professional move that I've ever made.
Yeah, definitely dope, man. I know you gotta get out of here soon, get the little ones real quick though. Two things before we get out of here. During the time, I think, I'm not sure if in a hurricane, tornado a few years ago, back home where you're at, or you get out and serve on your own. You get out and formulate people to get in water.
Yeah.
Is that something that just, I mean, I know why you did it, but
yeah.
I know why you did it, but how much of a, like, you want to make sure people are taken care of outside of your work is important to you?
Man, I don't think that you should do my job, or policing for that matter. I don't think you should do either one of those if you don't have a strong urge to help people. Like, you can go get a check anywhere. You can sell oranges and make money. You can mow lawns. You can do whatever you want to do to make money. It's out there to go get it if you're a hustler. But if you choose this profession or any profession that's like it, to where it's your job to help people, and you have to put the people you helping, put their safety over yours sometimes. So you have to be willing to get hurt or worse to help somebody else. So a check is not going to get you there. So anytime a youngin come up to me asking me about the firefighting profession, like, we ain't talking about money, we ain't talking about off days, I ain't talking about none of that with you until I get it out my mouth into your ears that you have to want to help somebody, like, above anything else, like, and to the point to where you would pull over and help somebody if they're in need on the side of the road for free, because that's what you want to do. It just so happens I'm getting to do that, and I'm getting paid for it. So that ties into my people were hurting. It was in March. It was this past March when the tornado hit. It was like 2 miles an hour from being an F5, 2 miles per hour from being an F5 tornado. City was hurting. how can I help? Boom. Like I can swing the axe, chainsaws. But one other thing because we got guys that's gonna do that. One thing that I've been blessed with, I've had the opportunity to do is network since I've been here in Arkansas. So I have a vast amount of people here in Arkansas and abroad that will be willing to step in and help me with their time, with their energy. Maybe they send a couple dollars, whatever. So I knew that I had the skill set and the network to put some stuff together to help these people in a real tangible way. That's gonna actually do some good. So I was glad to be able to be a part of that, man, for real.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Like I said, and you'll be blessed because of that, or you are being blessed because of that, bro. That's definitely dope. Keep it up. All right, as you know, in every show, I gotta go with the triple threat, right? And we know Drew past shooting basketball, but for me, you listening, your old friends, Drain, the homies that's gonna see this. Just give us people that may not know you too, because you're gonna get some new listeners on the West Coast for sure, man. You listen to the West Coast. What is your own personal triple threat, though? 3 things you personally, Ron Hampton, can put your stamp on how you walk by, how you maneuver by, what you live by. Give me your 3 things which equal your triple threat in life, or whatever you want to give it to me.
Dang, I should have prepared for this.
No, I never did that one. That one's always on the fly. Like that moment right there, you feel me?
Gonna be genuine. Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
3 things, man. Love everybody. Love everybody. I open this up and we talking about the demographics and how I came from one demographic growing up, and then college was something totally different, and this world got a whole lot of hatred going around, and it don't have to be like that. I feel like you should be able to love everybody, show everybody some respect, show everybody some compassion, and that's how I live my life. I'm gonna show love until you tell me not to. Until you ain't got to show it back, but like I'm always gonna show that love in that respect. The best thing I've got going right now, like I love being a parent. Like being a dad is like the coolest thing in the world, man. I'm happy to be able to walk that path and pour into the next generation. And it ain't got to be your kids. If you got kids, that's great. Pour into them, pour into their friends, but you can pour into the next generation without it being any blood relation to you at all. Like you can get out there and you can help and you can pour into this next generation, because that's gonna shape how this next generation treats each other, treats the world, treats the generation after them. As you can probably point to a non-family member right now that was the big homie, or he was uncle or whatever, that he poured into you, and he made sure you were straight. He asked how you doing, you know what I'm saying? Gave you some little words of wisdom and all of that. And we can be that for the next generation, regardless if we kin to them or not. And the third one, man, just go hard, man. Whatever you choose to do, stay applying pressure. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you choose to do it with your full heart. If it's looking good, if it's feeling good, if it's working out, if it's performance at work, if it's being a friend, like everything you do, like we ain't here long enough to be half-assing anything. We ain't here long enough to be half doing anything. So if you love hard, if you hooping, get a bucket, hoop hard. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no reason to hold back and pull back on anything you're doing. So I think if everybody kind of lives by those, that's what I try to live by. It's working at this point in time.
Yes, sir. My G, I appreciate you, my dog. Again, man, much love to you. Keep doing what you're doing as safe as possible. But again, you're very appreciated, man, and giving of yourself and your opportunity and away from your kids and family to help others, bro. It goes unnoticed. Give you your flowers right now too, my G, because like I said, it's not for everybody, for sure.
Yeah,
I know that too, but man, for sure. I mean, it's almost that time, so you already know what it is, bro. So
righteous. Oh yeah.
Safe travels. Tap in soon. You heard it here first, man, with the fighter of fire himself, Ron Hampton, aka J Work, Coach JT. 94 Feet with Coach JT. We out. Peace.
Love you, boy.
You too, bro. I'll see you.
Yes, sir.